Welcome. In front of me I have the GameSir Tarantula controller, and I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at just the look and feel of the product itself. So I just get straight into it. This one is a little bit more expensive than I expected from GameSir. I did unbox the GameSir, which one was it? The Cyclone Pro. And that one costed about 50 bucks. This is more expensive, like 70, possibly even more. So, yeah. Anyway, getting in here, I do have to say I appreciate the fact that they include little flaps so you can actually pull that off without much of a problem. Other side as well. There we go. Let's pop that open, and we have controllers in here. Let's start off with the actual controller, taking it out. This is way more of a retro vibe than I'm used to. Oh boy, there's a bunch of things happening at the back. Anyway, let's just set it to the side for now. Then in here we get a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, so you can use it with that instead of Bluetooth. Maybe you will get a better, faster connectivity. And we get the charging dock with a USB-A and a C at the back. And then the cable. It's a Type A to Type C cable, which by the looks of it does have a decent amount of length to it. Now bringing this into view, oh boy, that's kind of neat. We have something showing up through here like a gear. Don't really know what the gear is for. This could be a rumble for all I know, but like I said, I have no actual clue. That's an entire hefty button right here. So it looks like this is 3 different buttons in here. So I assume it's a side to side press. Then we got the actual joysticks right here. They feel fine, nothing special. The buttons actually look pretty interesting. It's very hard to get it, but you can see the X, Y, A, and B, but they are like way in there, down there. So it does have this kind of like depth to it, and as you can see, it's kind of difficult to showcase this on a video. Let's see if I shine a light, will it be more visible? Let's see how long it takes me to find my flashlight on the phone. Oh, there we go, found it. You can see it a little bit right here. There we go. So pretty interesting design. Like I said, in terms of shape, it has this more retro kind of feel to it, like the old PlayStation controllers. The buttons feel normal, similar to what Xbox feels like. The D-pad though, on the other hand side, has a weird feeling to it. It's a more clicky D-pad, kind of similar to a mouse pad, but it almost feels like it's a mouse click mixed with a membrane, if that makes sense. Triggers on the other hand side are fine. They don't have this kind of disgusting hollow sound to it when you release them, so that's pretty nice. They don't have too much force behind them, so they're relatively easy to press. The shoulder buttons also don't sound very kind of disgustingly clicky and cheap, so that's another nice thing. Then we have a bunch of different programmable buttons, which these do have these ones right here do have a mouse click sound to them and feel basically like a mouse click, along with the typical buttons for like menu and whatever. We got the power on. Oh boy, thank you. Oh, that is so nice. So we have just subtle lighting right here for battery. some RGB, which I hope you can turn off, and the ring right here for connectivity and like pairing and all that stuff, along with this one, which I think also represents the connectivity right now, is very muted, something that you won't really see. At least it's not going to be just straight up blasting at like if you're in a dark room. So, oh, and the buttons are also RGB right here. That is so nice. And again, these are recessed, so you don't really, like, if you hold it like this from a, and you're looking, you know, at an angle, you won't really see them light up, but if you just flip it towards you, you can actually clearly see it. So this actually just continuously surprises me. It's a pretty nice controller. Now, what I was talking about this button right here specifically, the fact that it's very dim, I personally love that. For me, the Xbox controller, the default one, like nothing special, the light that it has on there is stupid bright, to the point that I just took isolation tape and plopped it over it, because it's unbearable to have this be brighter than my TV. So yeah, I don't really like it. It's obnoxiously bright for no reason, and it's always on when it's connected. Again, no reason for that. Here, it's probably going to be on, but it's dim enough to the point that I don't care. Cool, it's on, but it's not bothering me. So that's positive. And it just feels nice. There's also some haptic feedback happening right here, which does feel pretty nice. Definitely better than what you have on like an Xbox controller. I don't really have too much experience with the PlayStation one, so I don't know how good that compares to it. Considering it is trying to mimic it, I do feel like it does feel pretty nice. Now, if you flip it over, so if we flip it over, we have a bunch of things happening right here. We can just, by the looks of it, physically lock the buttons from working. So if you flip the switch over, these no longer press. And they have a little bit of a play to it. You can kind of see it, but they don't click anymore. So there's no click. What was that? Just heard like gears. I think whatever that was just had a gear sound. Anyway, flipping that off, and it works. Then we have a programmable macro button right here for programming macros, and then the trigger ones. So the moment you flip it, it just becomes a clicky trigger for super click like shooting. So you don't need to bottom it out. You can see comparatively. Just grab it like this, maybe. There we go. Now if I were to switch these, so yeah, pretty nice design right here. And these are also relatively easy to flip. These require a little bit more force and fingernails, I would say, because they are just, these protrude just a little bit, you can see it, while the other ones are recessed along with or evenly with the build of the controller itself. So there we go, that's I think everything that there is to the device. There's one more thing. I think this is the switch button for the 2.4 gigahertz dongle or Bluetooth, as it supports both. And then we got the pogo pins for this. Trying to see how like okay, so this is the way it's supposed to sit. Nope, it seems like it's going to land almost all the time perfectly on there. So yeah. Oh, I first was placing it somehow like, was it like this? It was getting stuck, but yeah. Pretty nice controller. Honestly, I think it's definitely worth what they charge, at least in terms of the package. There's one last thing that I won't be able to check, which is the connectivity, how good it holds, and also what the latency behind it is. I don't have tools for that, and that will probably be one of the more important things, but GameSir does have pretty decent controllers, I would say. And yeah, I don't think, just from experience, that this will be bad. So let's just my assumption. This one in particular feels like it's trying to be way more premium compared to like some other ones. So with that assumption, I would also presume that they made the connectivity be pretty good. In terms of price, like I said, it's about $70, but it ranges from like $70 to $100. Not much difference there. They're all the same by looking at the price. It just really depends where you're buying it, and you might see different prices. But yeah, solid controller. So that's about it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.